Nicole just revealed what Paimon really is, according to Minsleaf at least. Let's dive into this theory, see what we think, because there's like two theories that are in my head that I've thought what Paimon could be. Theory number one, something to do with the moon for a new planet that we're going to end up creating eventually, or what's looking a bit more likely at this point, honestly, because I doubt we're going to create a new planet at the end of Genshin 1 if my other theory that I uploaded the other day goes to plan and Genshin 2 is going to be Kamuya stuff. She's probably just another set of eyes and ears for Asmodee, right? She's probably part of Asmodee's soul. Oh god. Alright, let's see what Minsley says though.
I want to try to answer one of the biggest questions in Genshin Impact. Who or what is Paimon? I know I've made videos about Paimon's identity before.
Dude, I mean, to be fair, Paimon's identity has been a big point of contention for the community for years, right? So everybody's been making theories about this. I remember a theory that Island XD did way back in the day, talking about Paimon and what she could be. So many cool and fun theories, but let's see what new information Nicole has granted to us now.
Whether she's one of the Shades, the Heavenly Principles, or the twin spaceship AI.
Indeed.
But this time, I wanted to look at the theory from a different angle. Through one of Genshin's newest and most lore-heavy characters, Nicole.
Then let's take a
Paimon
look.
has been with us since the beginning, but 6 years later, we still don't know what she is. And she's the only one of her kind, or so it seems.
Yeah,
so
so
what
far.
if Paimon is connected to the angels? What
True, she definitely could be. She's guiding a lot. She loves treasure. That is true, actually. What if she's just a fae, bro, and we found out instant now, I imagine?
if Paimon was an angel?
She
now,
could have
we've
been.
very briefly touched on this topic before, but let's actually explore it a bit further today. Through Nicole, we learned what angels were, what they were created to do, what happened to them, and what an angel might look like if they survived an inevitable curse.
Oh my god, bro, she would kind of parallel Koitar. No? Thoughts? Not for like falling in love with a human, but for like caring about us so much as well. I know the Traveler's not necessarily a human, but she's kind of chosen her one person to help guide through life, basically, right? Oh, interesting.
Paimon
Hold on.
gets really interesting. First of all, she doesn't look like Nicole, but she also doesn't look like a normal Seelie either. She looks like something in between the two.
Yeah.
And Nicole's lore might finally explain why. But wait, you're going to enjoy this. Today's video is sponsored by Genshin Impact.
Nice.
If you already play, make sure to use this code to grab some in-game rewards. And if you haven't started playing yet, or you've been thinking about returning, you can download the game using the link in the description and pin comment down below. And you definitely won't want to miss out if you're planning to pull for Nicole or Lohan. Genshin Impact is available on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and mobile with cross-platform play. Thank you so much, Genshin Impact, for sponsoring today's video. Angels were created by the Heavenly Principles. They served as divine envoys of Celestia during the age of Teyvat's unified civilization, thousands and thousands of years ago.
Wait, oh my god, so Paimon, if we're going based off Nicole lore, Paimon could have given up her original form as well, right? Her original
purpose was
body.
to guide humanity, teach people, bring oracles, and help mortals understand the future. They were also connected to Irminsul and the ley lines. For years, Paimon being the traveler's guide mostly felt like a gameplay mechanic.
Yep.
She explains how Teyvat works, speaks for the traveler, and helps move us from one part of the story to the next. But after
And a fallen angel from the sky landing in the ocean, bro, she also gave up her ability to freaking swim.
For Nicole, that word guide suddenly feels a lot more important.
Yep.
At least in English. Guiding people wasn't just something angels did. It was their entire purpose. Which is why when Nicole gave up her voice, it was such a huge deal, because it was the very tool she used to guide humanity. Her voice was her purpose. Another important angel is Koitar, the first angel of Celestia, also called the goddess of the Dawn Star. She wore an elemental crown that was also a shackle, binding her to Celestia's will. So angels were powerful, but not completely free. They guided humanity, but they were also bound to Celestia. Then comes Suturvoinen, a voyager from the Sea of Stars.
I knew this would be a parallel, bro, if that is the case. Now listen. I do also like to abide by the theory that Paimon could be the Heavenly Principles AI or a part of it. I think Arnold kind of cut with that, and I think a lot of people so far have cut with that theory. Now, let me put that out of my mind for a minute, though, to entertain this theory. Because, again, so many theories around Paimon, bro, none of them are proven correct or incorrect, and so many could be true, right? So let's just entertain this as the truth for a second. This could be a parallel not only to Koitar and Suturvoinen, but again, my theory from Natlan, which was in the little guy quest when we led him to the volcano, or when he led us to the volcano, and then it was actually announced that we were the ones that were leading him, so he could make the big decision in the end, right? Which actually ended the world. if this is the case, and Paimon is indeed an angel and the best guide in all of Teyvat, again, what if we are kind of guiding her to her final resting place as well, her Sealy court? Then the whole emergency food thing kind of takes on a whole different kind of meaning too.
Sutervoinen was an alien who sent her consciousness to Teyvat, possessed the body of someone in Hyperborea, and eventually met Koitar beneath Irminsul. There, Sutervoinen revealed that she was not from this world. That revelation completely changed Koitar. The crown binding her to Celestia broke, and for the first time, she experienced freedom and true love. Because of that, she shared with Sutervoinen the secrets of creation. Together, Koitar and Sutervoinen rebelled. They took control of Hyperborea, taught its people advanced knowledge, and encouraged them to look beyond the false sky and explore the sea of stars.
But when we read the Traveler's outfit description, we know Teyvat was inhabitable until AI Heavenly Principles came. We know that Teyvat was, or this planet was the perfect planet to harbor the twins. That doesn't necessarily mean anything in the sense of Paimon being the AI or not being the AI, to be fair.
They tried to create a civilization that no longer lived in fear of Celestia. During the War of Funerary Flame, the Heavenly Principles struck Hyperborea with celestial nails. Koitar and Sutervoinen were caught and punished. Koitar and the other angels were cursed. If angels ever loved one individual above all others, they would lose their bodies and minds and become the Sealies we now see across Teyvat. Koitar and Sutervoinen were separated and their memories were wiped. So, angels could lose their bodies, minds, and memories. Their punishment was basically a loss of self. The Traveler is also a being from outside Teyvat, an alien just like the Voyager. Paimon also has a lot of Sealy-like properties, and Sealies were angels. Now, I'm not saying that Paimon is Koitar. It's more so this
Wait, this is interesting. I've always thought of these as like celestial pillar kind of imagery, but the cuffs on her sleeves and also on her clothes everywhere kind of do look like Sealy courts as well. They kind of do. And also kind of teleport waypoints in a sense. Some kind of structural integrity, I guess.
Pattern or parallel of an alien from outer space having a guardian angel or something. Nicole Rain, also known as N, is a member of the Hexen Circle and one of the surviving angels. She is described as a prophetess with deep knowledge of Teyvat's direction and order. She helps people who need guidance, which is why the Hexen Circle knows her as the guide who will never get lost. Nicole is physically mute because she traded her voice to the Heavenly Principles in order to retain part of her angel form and power. She survived, but she paid an extraordinary price.
Do you think Paimon's price could have also been her memories, guys? Think about it. Think about it logically, right? Probably the heaviest price to pay would be your memory. Because we've learned time and time again in Genshin through the Aranara questline and plenty of others, there is more than one form of death in this world. The entire loss of memory is just another form of death. God damn. Okay, very interesting. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to put that out there. That's very interesting.
Again, her voice was her purpose. Even without a voice, Nicole still guides people because she speaks directly into people's minds, telepathically. She warns the Traveler after the Wanderer and Irminsul situation, talks to us about Fontaine's prophecy, helps in Not Cry, guides the Traveler through the Torres traps, and later helps during the Sumeru-Irminsul crisis. Still doing what she was meant to do. After Koitar's rebellion, the angels were collectively punished by the Heavenly Principles. And different angels seem to have suffered different outcomes depending on what they wanted to keep and what they wanted to sacrifice. Some gave up wisdom in favor of power and became corrupted beasts or dragons like Ursa the Drake. Yeah, this was a massive lore drop in Nicole's voice lines. Others abandoned Ursa the...
Sorry, did she actually say like Ursa the Drake? Let me just go through this. The angels who forsook wisdom in favor of power became corrupted dragons like Ursa. Oh my god! I haven't seen this! The angels who forsook wisdom in favor of power became corrupted dragons like Ursa, ones without distinct elemental characteristics. What the fuck? Of course, over time, heroes have hunted them to near extinction. What if I had chosen power like those dragons? It's difficult to imagine. I'd like to think my scales would have been a glittering silver though. Bro, what the hell? Okay, we gotta take a look at Nicole's freaking voice lines, bro.
Of power and became corrupted beasts or dragons like Ursa the Drake. Yeah, this was a massive lore drop in Nicole's voice
Damn.
lines. Others abandoned power in favor of wisdom and were stripped of their forms, souls, and memories, eventually becoming Seelies. Nicole was a rare exception because she gave up her voice, allowing her to keep her form and identity. So now the question is, what did—
I'm sorry, that's going to play on my mind now. So, I mean, it doesn't mean all dragons came from angels, of course, it doesn't, but that's a very interesting thing to happen.
Paimon lose to end up in the form she has now? Paimon looks like a chibi-fied version of Nicole. Nicole pretty much has her original form save for her voice. Paimon does have a lot of angel-like qualities. She floats, she has a crown, and just look at her outfit. When she moves, she leaves behind tiny stars. In fact, a lot of her design screams Celestia. But Paimon also doesn't look like a normal Seelie. A Seelie is small and very wispy and kinda see-through. Seelies guide people in a basic instinctive way, but they obviously don't speak or have any other traits like Paimon. So if we're going with the Paimon as an angel theory, Paimon may have kept the thing Nicole lost, her voice. But she may have lost the things Nicole didn't want to lose, her—
Bro, listen, Min's cooking, man. Min's cooking. This is a good theory, because that is what first came to my mind as well, her memories.
Her original body, her powers, and most importantly, her memories. I know this might sound funny, but this could explain why Paimon talks so much. Paimon's constant talking is usually treated like comic relief. She's kind of almost the opposite of Nicole, even though Nicole is telepathically talkative. But maybe that contrast is the clue. Nicole sacrificed her voice to keep her human—
Dude, this fucking dark-colored scarf around her neck as well that we see here now, I can't unsee it as the Seelie cape for some reason. God damn it, man.
talkative. But maybe that contrast is the clue. Nicole sacrificed her voice to keep her human form and memories. Paimon may have sacrificed her form and memories to keep her voice, the tool angels use to guide humanity. That would explain why Paimon is not a full angel like Nicole, but also not a Seelie. Maybe she kept her personality, she kept her emotions, she kept her ability to speak, she kept the instinct to guide, but she lost her memories and wisdom, including the deeper knowledge of what she is. She definitely sacrificed something different from the Seelies, Nicole, and dragons like Ursa the Drake. Paimon's origin is still a mystery. The only thing she tells us is that before meeting the Traveler, she got super tired, got caught in a strange whirlpool, was sucked out to sea, and then the Traveler fished her out. All this happened close to the Nameless Island, a mysterious island associated with Istaroth, the Shade of Time. Maybe Paimon was an angel-like guide or celestial envoy.
Do you ever think, like, in terms of Genshin Impact as a story? Because one of my biggest things is I do think Genshin is a pre-written story, and that's why fate is a thing and all of this stuff even happens in the first place. It was a weird theory back in the day that Alice was the one that, like, wrote the story, for example, and the Hex and Zircon mages are all in on it, and that's why they know everything and, like, seem to plan everything precisely and to just happen perfectly. And it was like, oh my god, in the very end, like, Traveler's gonna wake up and, or like, it's gonna pan out of a book and freaking the Teyvat chapter is done and, you know, Alice is writing it or something in the real world. I don't know about that, but it's very interesting to me if we listen to this part. Hold on.
The only thing she tells us is that before meeting the Traveler, she got super tired, got caught in a strange whirlpool, was sucked out to sea, and then the Traveler fished her out.
Do you think it's a complete story? I'm curious because it's way too well planned. Well, here's the thing. I think Durin's story is a prime example of this. I mean, think about it. Think about it logically. What happened in Durin's story quest? We went for days, like, going through his history until we caught up with the present, and then it was just blank whiteness, right? If you go back and look at the Teyvat chapter storyline preview, everything is written. Black background, nice text, and then what happens? We get to Kamriar, which is a white background instead of black, and it doesn't have an act, like it's unwritten. Because it's not the Kamriar that's already happened, it's probably going to be the Kamriar that Lumine revives with a Loom of Fate. I think we're going to end up continuing the story and writing it ourselves after Snezhnaya. But Paimon's role in all that is going to be very interesting. I went off my train of thought for the last thing that I was thinking about with it being a book, but I do think that is likely going to be the case.
This happened close to the Nameless Island, a mysterious island associated with Istaroth, the Shade of Time. Maybe Paimon was an angel-like guide or celestial envoy. Maybe she was an angel. And if that's true, then Paimon's role as a guide becomes the biggest clue to her real identity. Paimon doesn't seem to know her origin, species, or purpose, but she immediately becomes the Traveler's guide. That could mean her instinct to guide people stayed with her even if she doesn't remember being created to guide humanity. Remember, Nicole is a guide who never gets lost. Paimon is a self-proclaimed guide humanity.
Look at that, dude. Look at that crown when she's got that hat off. Look at it. Oh god, it's so similar.
Remember, Nicole is a guide who never gets lost. Paimon is a self-proclaimed best guide in all of Teyvat. Nicole proves angels can survive in altered forms different from the devolved Seelies. Angels were commanded to love all living beings equally. If an angel—
I mean, Paimon can't really be an angel, because if she was an angel, Nicole would have recognized it. I don't necessarily think so if she lost her form, just like Nicole lost her angel form as well, right? Or like, I guess, kept a bit of it, but her form's clearly changed. I don't think Paimon would have looked like she does now when she was an angel. I just don't think so. I don't think that is necessarily true. And even if she did, I mean, she could also just be under strict rules from Alice to not discuss anything with us or anybody, right? I mean, the Hexen Circle know a lot of things. They know a lot of things.
Loved one person instead of all equally, they could lose their body and mind and become a Seelie. That's actually kind of terrifying when we look at Paimon, because Paimon is not neutral or impartial with her affection to all humans.
True.
Paimon doesn't love everyone equally. Paimon chooses the Traveler over and over again. It's really wholesome and cute. She sticks with the Traveler through danger and through anything, really. She panics when she's separated from them, and she swears to stay by their side. But with angel lore, it might become ominous. If Paimon is angel-like, then her greatest emotional strength might also be her greatest danger. The thing that makes Paimon so lovable may also be the thing Celestia once punished angels for, choosing one person above the world. There's also the strange way Paimon is connected to the sky and potentially Celestia. In the Book of Esoteric Revelations,
so funny though. Oh god, here we go. Because the thing is, it's like Paimon's choosing the Traveler, but I also think she's choosing the Traveler to save the world, right? Otherwise, what's the other reason?
Paimon is connected to the sky and potentially Celestia. In the Book of Esoteric Revelations, Kanatilla describes Paimon as a little rainbow balloon floating in the air, with a string that seems to extend upward somewhere above the sky itself. That is one of the most suspicious descriptions of Paimon in the entire game. I've brought it up before in previous videos because it's so creepy. It suggests that Paimon is connected to something upward, maybe to the false sky, Celestia, the heavenly principles, or perhaps a spaceship sitting on the moon. This doesn't prove Paimon is an angel, but it supports the idea that she might be one of them or a being like them. Angels were Celestia created envoys. So if Paimon is a string leading somewhere above the sky, that might just indicate she's bound to Celestia somehow. That also connects to one of Paimon's biggest contradictions. Paimon has hints that make her feel like she comes from beyond Teyvat, but she's still affected by Irminsul changes, which usually suggests she belongs to Teyvat. So if Paimon really is connected to the
But that could have also been a price that she paid to become bound to Teyvat's fate, right? To lose her memories and become anchored by Teyvat. That could have been one of the
Then the real question is not just what Paimon is,
sacrifices,
but rather what she sacrificed in order to become what she is today, and what she might lose next. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. I'm your Leafy Lore Keeper Minzef, and I read the Genshin Impact lore so that you don't have to.
Goddamn, dude, goddamn. That was a very good theory, to be honest. Again, I'm not really subscribed to one specific Paimon theory at this point because so many make sense to me. There's probably, you know, little bits of information that don't make sense in all of them, but as I've said since day one, bro, listen, what happened when I was the one that fully believed Irminsul was going to burn before the devs confirmed it and everybody called me absolutely crazy because that would mean everybody would, like, people would die, Nahida would die, and I'm like, no, it'll happen, bro. They were like, no, it's metaphorical. No, it'll happen. And they're like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, it doesn't make sense now. Nothing is stopping new information from being revealed to then make things that didn't make sense. And we've seen this happen time and time again, and it gets so old every time somebody comes up with a theory and they're like, well, that doesn't make sense because of this small detail. It's like, dude, that small detail can change like this. One patch update is all it takes for that small detail to become redundant entirely. This is a very interesting theory, but you are crazy. True, but you're subscribed to crazy. What if she's just a balloon?